Welcome, y'all. Tonight I'm going to do 3 different recipes. I'm going to kind of jump around on some of the recipes due to the cooking times. I've already got some stuff in the oven. I already have something coming out of the oven. The first recipe I'm going to do is a roasted vegetable spinach salad, and I'm going to do it with just a really light dressing of balsamic vinaigrette and some nifty olive oil I got off our shelf. It's a spray olive oil, so you can spritz this salad. Now I chose spinach. You can choose any leafy green. The darker the better. And then the vegetables, I'm using red pepper, a little bit for color and a little bit for taste too. I've got red pepper, yellow pepper, I've got some red onions, nice and sweet, and then I got some baby portobello mushrooms, and then I've got some of the small grape tomatoes. I'm going to roast those in an oven at 450, and those come out of the oven. They go over the salad, kind of a warm salad, goes good with the spinach. So what I did, I already cut some of these, but basically you're going to want to cut your peppers in half. And when I do it, you could cut them real thin if you'd like. They're going to roast up real quick, and there's not going to be much of a crunch to them. So when I cut the peppers, I tend to kind of angle them a little bit, and they get a little bit of a rougher look to them. And when they roast up versus this, you're going to get more surface also that's going to roast up and get that nice roasted flavor going on it. So basically what I do that with the peppers. The onion, we're going to cut that. I'll do something similar to the onion as well. I don't really cut it crisscross wise, but I will cut it a little bit thicker, starting with the curve. Kind of go around and just kind of basically cut it. Then you can just break it up. I've got this coated in a little olive oil, pepper, and you can put salt in there, but all the recipes tonight will not have salt. That's something optional. Then I also have the elephant garlic. It's very sweet when it roasts up. It gets even sweeter than your smaller garlic. Nothing really too fancy on this. Kind of give that a cut. There's a lot of sugar in it, so it does caramelize up when it roasts. So what I did, marinate them all. I put some fresh basil in there. I put it in the oven at 450 on the very top shelf. And that's what we're looking like right now. So they're roasting up. They're starting to roast on, still need a few more minutes, so we'll let those roll. So basically that's the preparation for the salad, and we'll serve the salad here in a moment. The next recipe I'm going to do, Lori had asked if we could focus a little bit on kids doing the heart healthy, so I got a little something for kids to eat. I'm doing baked fish sticks. Tilapia is a great fish to do it with, and I chose something most kids like, some kind of cereal. I've bread it in Rice Krispies before, or Corn Flakes. It works out pretty well. So what we're going to do here is I bought the loins down in our meat and seafood department. These are the tilapia loins, so they're kind of, they're in kind of uniform versus the whole fillet where you're going to get some of that belly on there. The end product is we're going to get them about that size. So I just make about 3 strips across it. And all you got to do is cut them in half. Now I could leave them longer if I want, but if I'm breading them, the longer they are, they're going to start falling apart a little bit on me. Real simple recipe. You can take some lemon. You can also use some orange or other kinds of citrus on it. Just a little bit of lemon juice. And you only want to marinate it for a couple minutes. Just kind of coat it a little bit. Then we're going to take a little olive oil. And the recipe says to drain it. Now if you go light on everything, you really don't have to drain it much. You want to get those nicely coated. Now you could do the old-fashioned breading method where you take flour, egg wash, and then put them into the Rice Krispies. But these are going to be a little bit lighter tasting. Let me stick them first. To keep them from curling up, Dwayne over here is like, Larry, you got to stick the skewers in. All you got to do, you can either weave them, stick them right on in, leave a little handle. That's all you got to do with those. And then when you coat them, you just throw those Rice Krispies over them, lightly bread them. Put them on a Teflon or a non-stick baking pan, or you could take some parchment paper, line them up on there. And these bake up really nice. They get crispy, and they might even snap, crackle, and pop for you. I did use the crisp rice, the Food Club. It's really good product. About $3.50 for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, the last recipe, while I got the other things working, going to do a little something different with green beans. We're going to do a green bean with pear. Now you could match up green beans with different kinds of fruit. You can do apples. I used pears that look like an apple on the skin there. I used the red pear. And that, I just washed the green beans earlier. Then on the pear, just take a little cut off of it. And then you can cut it once more, going across. And then just another slices like this. You want those a little bit larger than the green bean, because they will break up if you add them too soon, and they're a lot more tender than the green bean. So we'll work with those here in a second. We're going to get that pan hot. Put about a tablespoon or two of olive oil in there. Olive oil is good when you're looking at the heart healthy aspects of it. It's got that omega-3 I always talk about in there. And the salmon too that I cooked has the omega-3. Now the salmon is a variation of the spinach salad. It's that warm vegetables. If you want to add some protein to it, you could go with salmon. You could grab one of our rotisserie chickens and peel off the chicken from that. Or you could pan-sear or grill a chicken breast and add it to it. So it's just a base salad. You could do scallops in there, shrimp, but if you're watching your diet, those are probably a little higher in cholesterol than what you're going to want to be putting in your body. So the green beans we're going to let heat up. I think the fish sticks are just about ready. Now I'd put the fish sticks in just before. They still need a little more time, but I breaded them up, put them in the oven right before you guys were kind of breaking from back there, so they're cooking up pretty quick, so we'll be in good shape. The vegetables, they're ready. I'm going to just take those out and let some of the heat come off of them, otherwise we will totally wilt the spinach, and it won't be a warm salad, it'll be a really hot one, so those will sit just right. Now if you're at home and you want to do these on the grill, this grill is real conducive to grilling inside, but you could grill these vegetables too. You would just take, your pepper. You can take part of that onion. You can a little olive oil on there. Just grill them, flip them a couple times. You're going to get a nice grilled or roasted product that way too. Now the green beans, I'm going to just start them off. They're going to take a few minutes to cook. Now I'm using agave nectar. Anyone ever work with that or cook with it before? Yeah. What attributes does this have versus sugar? I know.
Nectar. So it's got some nutritional value.
Yeah, it's been a big hit. 5 years ago, you really didn't see much of it. You saw it in some of the cooking. I'm seeing it in a lot of recipes these days. It's a natural sweetener, similar to molasses. But from what I understand, the sugar doesn't exchange quite like a refined sugar does. So it's also friendly for diabetic and gluten cooking. Low glycemic. Yep, vegan and gluten-free. So yeah, I have used it for diabetes. They recommend in a lot of those recipes as well. Okay, so I got some spinach already here. And this is a salad that what we'll do on it, we'll just kind of fluff it a little bit. Yeah, Dwayne wants to be in the game. Do you want to get in this game, Dwayne? You want to top that? Yeah, go for it. He's going to sneak agave under the table, do the old Julia Childs. Dwayne's a local guy. He could roll with this. And after he tosses these vegetables around the salad, now it's not your traditional iceberg salad where everything just sits on top and you throw a lot of blue cheese dressing or ranch dressing in my case. He's going to toss it all around, and then we did put basil on here to begin with, and that kind of cooked on in and gave it a nice smell and flavor. But the fresh basil will be tossed in there. You won't even know it's there, and it's got that great, beautiful, fresh taste. I got them. Yeah, I did. I used 1 pack of basil, one of those smaller packs that we have down there, and just split it and broke the leaves. You do. Yep. When it cooks up, you get, it just gets a little more spicier. Not spicy, but more piquant, and it's got that fresh taste when it's raw. So what Dwayne's going to do with that salad to dress it, he's going to I'll make the dressing while these green beans are cooking. See if I can multitask. Dwayne's an old restaurant guy too. He says if you can't get it out in 10 minutes, well, what was the rest of it? Go home?
Go home. Nobody likes to sit around 45 minutes waiting on the plate.
Okay, so we're going to take a little lemon juice. And this is for the salad dressing. We're going to take some of this nice navel orange. The Florida Commission, these are California oranges. You can tell by the size of that navel. Everything gets big in Texas, don't they? Yeah, that's one thing. Food City does great with local produce, but there has to be a stopping point on some things. We don't grow oranges around here, unfortunately. So I just squeezed about a half a lemon and if it was a smaller orange, you could go half or use the whole thing, but I used just about half of that one. Now I'm going to just put in a little balsamic vinegar. The ratios when you're doing a vinaigrette is both of these are acidic. Is a third vinegar to 2/3 of oil is usually the rule of thumb, but this is not, like I said, not your normal salad. We're going to put a little bit over the top. And now you could control that too. You could go with more or less if you want. And then you can spritz. Okay, now, stay back. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put some more oranges in here, into this dish. Now if you're cooking at home, you're probably not going to be orange and lemon crazy all in the same night. But I hit this with the lemon. A lot of times in restaurants they reduce white wine or red wine and it gets really concentrated. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just deglazing the pan with lemon. Ooh, that's for stealing the show there. Gotcha.
I think we worked great together. I feel it.
All right, so now, did you feel the love over here, do you, Dwayne? Now we're going to pour the agave nectar in. It's going to kind of make a little sauce for it. It's going to thicken up slightly. Toss it one more time. We'll throw a little pepper in, but no salt tonight. But plenty of pepper. Now, I'm going to let that just simmer down for a minute. And that's going to kind of thicken up. I'm going to set off the fire alarm. Okay, now what Dwayne's going to do, he gets all the fun stuff, I'll tell you. Okay, here's your little kid fish sticks. If you can't get a kid to eat fish now, well, you can email me and let me know. It's just going to slide these out and put them around, and I'll do something to make it colorful. Now these are cooking up. You can kind of see that that's thickened a little bit. So now I'm going to turn the heat down. Yeah. Give us a little excitement. The pears, apples, whatever you want to put in here, it's your ratio. They usually go about a little less than equal the amount. Has some fresh rosemary in there. I recommend about 2 sprigs. All we got to do is, rosemary grows upward on a thick stem. We'll just strip it on down. And then at the very top, there's really no stem up here, so you can just take that. Now, I always like to add the herbs, like a lot of times. Fresh basil, fresh herbs, I'll cook with it early, but to the salad, I like to get that back in there for that fresh taste. So now we got that sauteing up. Optional item, nuts. It shows, you can use walnuts, pecans, almonds, pine nuts. It's your kitchen, you're the chef, you can do what you want to on that. So now we'll just sprinkle a few of these on there. I think the recipe calls for 2 ounces. Dwayne pointed out that it's 2.5, so oh well. And that's the thing about cooking, you don't have to be so exact. I say that quite a bit. When I'm baking, I mismeasure on my salt. Hey, look at these.
Those are nice.
They are. I mismeasure on my salt, and something doesn't rise or it doesn't taste quite right. With baking or with cooking, you can kind of get away a little bit. So now I'm just going to let those sit for a minute. Kids eat with their eyes, adults eat with their eyes. So we'll make something. It's really not that rough to do this one. You just take your knife and you start making V's, and you keep going around. And I'm holding the growing ends there to kind of give a measurement. It'll come out a little crooked, it always does. Chef that taught me how to do this, though, he said it'll work just fine if you hold your mouth right, but when I'm talking, I can't hold my mouth right, so it doesn't work out quite as well. See, I shut up and I'm getting good now. Dwayne's like, yeah, why don't you just shut up the rest of the time, Larry? There we go. So you got a nice little crown. And now we could take that. And although I cut into this, I can still do that on here.
Not quite ready for me.
No, not ready for you yet. I'm sorry. Dwayne's got a date tonight, I think.
Did you just use regular toothpicks for the skewers?
Well, we found something new today. Where are they? They're right there. We were looking for the long wooden ones. That's a good question. And now they make the little portion skewers, they're calling them.
And that wouldn't burn in the oven.
Oven? No, it didn't burn in there. Now, if we went on the grill, it might burn, or if they're hanging off a little more, they could have. A lot of times, though, if I'm using the other skewers, I'll soak them for about a half hour to an hour. And that usually keeps them pretty good to go on the grill and everything. Now, the orange I did, we took from a half an orange. And the lemon, I had already cut into it, but, I'm going to use it anyway, so I still got that out of there. Got one of those skewers right here. And you can just plop this in like that. Go like that. Take a tomato. And let the kid eat. Okay, so there's our kitty fish sticks. We've got our spinach salad again. You can toss some salmon into it like this. I took out of the oven just again right as you were all coming back there. You can kind of break it up if you want, flake it on in there. We're going to keep it on the side in case someone's not a big salmon fan. Or if you got rotisserie chicken, you had it last night, you bought it, you got leftover, pick it off. You can pick it off, put it right on in there. Any kind of fish too. Tilapia could go in there. And then there's your green beans with the agave nectar and the rosemary, lemon, and orange, and sweet pears. And that's heart healthy food, no salt added.